Greetings, benevolent beings. So, it's been very challenging the last few days for me personally. And as I'm doing my best to try and get these entities off of me, they keep resorting to things that are in such violation of universal laws that they shouldn't even be here. And at this point, because there has not been a larger benevolent force intervening here, I'm just at a point where, I'm recognizing that something has gone very awry in this universe. And seems to be a lot of malevolence. There seems to be a lot of parasites. There seems to be a lot of violating of universal laws. And because of where this is at, I've taken it upon myself to, with my abilities, to start doing larger things. Now, if a true benevolent creator ever does intervene here, I will be able to stand in front of that creator and justify my actions, and I have no problem doing so. For the rest, for any other benevolent beings listening, you will have to maybe sit with that and figure out where you're at with things. However, I will say that based on what is being forced on this planet, and these malevolent entities are violating universal laws in order to try and obstruct us from protecting ourselves and evolving. So, because they are doing that and they have not yet been yanked out of this manifested creation due to violating universal laws, I'm not really too worried about any benevolent creator coming back later on with any kind of disapproval. Right? I mean, can you see the logic in that? I mean, the malevolence in parasites that are here, look at what they're doing. The creator hasn't intervened as of yet on our behalf to remove them. And the things that they are forcing are so abhorrent. That me trying to protect myself and defend myself, and so that I can continue in my evolution process, are things that I will have no problem justifying. Like, what I'm saying is, there shouldn't ever be any kind of disapproval coming from a benevolent force that has yet to intervene and remove parasites and demons and malevolence that are using technology to forcibly destroy the balance in a universe, obstruct universal law correction, and hack into benevolent beings with frequency weaponry. Right? I mean, can you see the logic in that? So there shouldn't ever be any being coming forward in disapproval if they are not going to intervene themselves on our behalf when these malevolent parasitic entities are forcing what they're forcing here. So in saying that, I have encouraged others, I do it myself every day, all day. I have encouraged others to try and assist, to try and help themselves, as well as other true benevolent beings who are being tortured and harmed. To be moving things, entities and information and knowledge to universal laws for correction, be asking universal laws questions in kind of a roundabout way to try and get universal laws to assist here or to reach here, by way of questions, by having it start checking and locating, checking things and locating the entities that are doing these things, and trying to get correction that way. So I would say, if you have been trying to assist in actually trying to move things to universal laws for correction, if you haven't had the true benevolent creator, and I'm talking the true benevolent creator, not the one running around claiming that he's father, because that one is full of shit. But if you haven't had any true benevolent being come to you and either show disapproval or ask you to just leave it to him and he'll take care of it, right? Like, in other words, if you haven't had anything as of yet occur, I would say you're probably safe, right? Now, I don't know where the creator is. For me personally, he's been MIA. So I don't get any kind of, I haven't heard any kind of response or any kind of judgments or anything like that. So what I'm saying is, I'm going to continue to do what I'm doing, because I know they, before they use their regression technology, they do initially get nailed. So I'm going to continue to do that. Now, part of the intent of this recording is to just go over maybe just to make it I guess more clear as to what you could be doing if you are going to take action. So if you're moving knowledge and information, if you choose to try that, you'll have to go with what feels good to you and what feels organic or natural to you. Like, sometimes it's good to have a template or an example from which to go by. But this, it's best if you're doing it straight from your intention, your own intention, your own knowledge, your own heart, your own emotions, right? But when you're moving knowledge and information, you're basically not moving the entities personally, but you're moving, wording it is basically going to be like you're moving all of the knowledge of all entities anywhere in existence using technology, clones, and magic to forcibly obstruct humanity's evolution without our knowledge, without our consent, or against the revocation of our consent. And then be, with your heart, you're like moving that knowledge directly to universal laws, which is everything outside of this place. outside the frequency fence, because universal laws is a force and it's everywhere, right? It's not like in a certain location in the universe, right? It's a force. It's a living force in the universe. So I guess just outside of here would be like the field, the universal field. So as long as your intention is there, your focus and intention, with your emotion, you're moving things to universal laws, which is everywhere, just outside of here. Now, there is a certain way that I envision universal laws, more so like if you've ever seen the Northern Lights. It's, I would say, my perception is something along those lines of how, if I were to describe it in language, that's how it might look. But, maybe universal laws, when you imagine it, maybe you'll have a different vision or perception pop up in your mind. If it does look like anything, if it has a form, right? I think for me, having a form just makes it a little bit easier, but you have to do it however you feel is best. Now, I would say it's probably, if you want to continue doing it, maybe think of a set template of how you're going to word your declarations, or how you're moving whatever it is that you are moving. Maybe have a kind of a template of a sentence or a statement of your word placement, or how you're going to word those movements, I guess. Or just do it on the fly, like whenever it could be spontaneous, and you say it how it is, however it is you're feeling that you need to say it, right? There's no one set way. It's pretty much has a lot more to do with your intention and your focus and your emotion and your attention. And your envisioning skills can be helpful. And the more you kind of learn, you'll refine how you word things. A lot of that also has to do with the results that you see and feel once you've moved something. Okay, so that was an example of moving of knowledge. You could also do it with information. I'm trying to think of an example for that. I mean, essentially, information is knowledge. I guess depending on what it is that you're moving, you could make the discernment whether the word knowledge or the word information is to be used. And here's the thing, you can certainly get, I'm sure that there are things in your life that you've wondered about, that you've questioned, that you've never received answers, or that need to be possibly reconciled in some fashion. As they've been obstructing universal laws for a very long time, maybe it's time to maybe go through in your past and find those things and ask universal laws to check on them. And then you can ask things in the form of questions to universal laws. Like, can universal laws locate all the malevolent entities forcibly connected to me via technology, clones, and or magic, who are forcibly harming me against the revocation of my consent, and find out what their, and determine what their justification for doing those things against the revocation of my consent is. You know, or just saying, what is their justification? You know, for them to be harming you against the revocation of your consent via technology. What's their justification? Because I'll tell you right now, these bitches don't have any justification because they're parasites. They absolutely have no justification whatsoever in any kind of a universe, in any kind of a dimension. They don't have justification, period. And so they're not ever going to be able to, any questions that are asked of them about what they're doing, they're not going to have a logical answer. Because they lie about this and they lie about that. Like, for example, the entities forcibly connected to me continue to bring up a specific thing in my past and continue to imply that that is why they're forcing what they're forcing. Here's the thing, though. These are parasites. These are dead animated entities. Number one, who are trying to play judge, jury, and executioner. Another thing, they're using technology to obstruct universal laws. So I consistently tell them, if you're really worried about something in my past, stop obstructing universal laws and universal laws will take care of it. Because that's what universal laws does, is take care of stuff and balances things. And then in addition to that, what they're saying, or the one thing in my past they keep bringing up, like, at some point, like, you don't, it's not logical. It doesn't make any sense the way that they're trying to make it seem like that they're going to torture a certain being for one thing that they did in their past, and they're just going to continue to, you know, to try and do that until that being, you know, I don't even want to say it, but like, they want to continue to try and just torture. Whereas if there was a reason for it, if there was any kind of logic to it, like, at some point, like, we try to reconcile things in our past the best that we can. If you're a benevolent being and you have empathy and compassion, right? You try to do right by it. You try to make good on it. You try and take care of those things. You try and reconcile with other people if other people are involved. You know, you try to do the best you can to correct that thing. It's called learning. right? Uh, Sometimes in growing up, uh, from infancy, one makes mistakes, especially in a fucking place like this. So it's called learning, right? And so at some point, if a dog shits in the house, uh, you don't continue to beat it and torture it until the end of its life for the one time it shit in the house, right? That's not logical. That's nonsensical. That's called insanity, is what that's called. And they are insane. So there's a lot of reasons just right there. And it's got nothing, like I said in the last recording, what they're forcing has nothing to do with what one has done in their past. Because this is a parasitic farm. So my question to them always then finally comes to, well, why are you torturing the rest? The rest didn't do that one specific thing that I did in my past. So what are you torturing them for? Right? Can you see, no matter what question you ask them, it's all going to be, whatever answer they give you is lies. One lie doesn't obviously reveals the lie of the other thing. Like it's demon speak. You're never going to get the truth out of those whores. And that's all that is demon speak. It's lies, cons, and deceit. Because they're dead. They're animated dead entities. They're parasites. They're insane. They're like zombies. They have a need to feed. That's it. And they're dumb as fuck. If they seem smart, it's because they're using fucking technology. Right? Anyway. So you just have to remember the logic of things and put things in perspective. And if you are going to question them, they're always going to be, you're not going to get the truth out of those whores. But that would be one way for you to catch them in 3 or 4 different lies, just using your logic. And that might make you feel better. And start being able to more easily toss off their shit. Okay, so asking questions, asking universal laws to find and locate things, to ask about certain events. How about this? Asking where the creator is, the true benevolent creator of this creation. Now, I have done that before. And there's a couple that get nailed right away. Now, if you might be, definitely try to be receptive a few minutes after you've asked the question to see if universal laws send you back like some kind of an answer that you can articulate into language. It might be more of a feeling. It's most likely going to be more of a feeling. Or you might get a vision, like a vision, a flash of a vision as your answer. But I'm sure, everybody has things in their past that they never got like the full all of their questions answered or got the full details. So it's a good way to get answers because universal laws is everywhere. And that's what universal laws does, is balance. locates things, it finds things, it balances things. So I'm just saying it's a tool that can also be used, as well as a tool to deal with malevolent entities that shouldn't be here. Maybe ask them why regression technology and or time travel technology is being forcibly used, or is being used to forcibly regress humanity against the revocation of our consent. Why are malevolent entities using technology and clones to rape astral bodies or the astral body frequencies of benevolent beings? And what are they doing with those? And what is their justification? Like, you can get, so, I mean, if you sit down and think about it, you could have probably about 10 pages of questions. Because there's a, you can just get creative with it, or you can just start, asking questions about things that have happened in your life, or wrongs, right? People wronging you, or with, if you're specifically targeted, you could start asking all kinds of questions about it. Like, do any of the individuals or entities forcibly connected to me via technology work for the government or any faction therein? And what is their justification for forcibly trying to murder me? Right? Like, you can, just think about it. And then, so that would be one way to be utilizing universal laws, asking questions, moving the knowledge and information of things that you want to know about, right? Or entities, or entities too, their whereabouts and why they're trying to forcibly harm benevolent beings here. Why have they, malevolent entities, using technology and clones to forcibly access my being against the revocation of my consent, and what is their justification for doing so? And from what reality or dimension are they working from? Are they operating from? Are they originating from? Things like universal laws, please locate all entities, parasites, malevolence, that are using technology, clones, and magic to forcibly access higher dimensions. And determine their justification in doing so. Okay, and then the other one, you can actually, be moving moving the entities yourself, just straight, I remove from the totality of my being all malevolence, all forced entities and parasites, and malevolence in all forms. From the totality of my being directly to universal laws, devoid of anything raped from me and devoid of all harm to me. So there are several, just different ways to go about utilizing universal laws. Anything like in trying to work more with universal laws, we stand a better chance of triggering universal law enforcement here. Because there's so much fucked up shit. Because things are just so fucked up here. Like, you're not reaching out to universal laws because you're floating on bubbles. Right? So anything we're going to universal laws about is going to be things that need and require correction. And we're moving them manually because they're using tech to obstruct. It is important, the one thing, if you can manage it, we need to be removing, having universal laws, find and locate, and remove everything, all the torture, raped, and murdered, power, will, energy, life force, consciousness, and frequencies from the totality of the artificial frequency fence, all AI systems, astral realms, artificial realities, and clones. And move them directly to universal laws for immediate correction, along with the knowledge of all of the entities that raped those things from benevolent beings. In making sure that we're clearing out, consistently clearing out the artificial frequency fence of the stuff that they've raped and are trying to store there. That way universal laws can be returning those things that have been raped to the benevolent beings that those things were raped from. Okay, so there are a couple other things, real important ones that we need to be doing all the time. But that's kind of, I just wanted to give an example, some examples of working with universal laws in case there are benevolent beings out there who are doing that and who might just need a bit more understanding or a bit more need to feel a bit more comfortable in doing in using universal laws. Yeah, there shouldn't be animated dead entities trying to judge you on your or on anything in your past when they're using technology to hack into beings. Like, they're judging you in this whole entire time. They're mind raping you. Like, they forcibly have accessed your being and they're forcibly trying to mind rape you. And they have the audacity and the gall to actually try and judge you on things in your past. Yeah, I don't think so. That's not how that works. That's not how that works. So if the creator has not yet intervened here, and he hasn't done anything about them, I would have to say that I have no qualms about doing what I need to do to protect and defend myself with my abilities and whatever else that I have. And the other things that I have. So, I'm trying to see if there was anything else. Just a moment. Okay, well, I guess I can wrap up this video. Hopefully it's not too long for you. And hopefully any benevolent beings listening, I hope this helps to make other things or brings more understanding to other things. And you could be also moving dead, the parasitic entities. Now, I have done directly back to the creator. However, the experience that I had with that, I've already spoken of. And that is how I found out that that is not the true creator. It's the one running around pretending he's the creator. And he immediately started to rot when I did that. So anyway, you could always ask, why are there malevolent entities or individuals using technology, clones, and magic to forcibly access my being and harm me? Against the revocation of my consent and forcibly trying to obstruct me from defending myself against the revocation of my consent. And what is their justification? So yeah, there's a lot of different ways that you can ask questions and move knowledge and information, and and I actually move the entities themselves continuously. I think part of the problem is that they've cloned themselves, and that they try to get the clone to take the hit because they see clones as disposable. So when it comes to clones and then the ones torturing, you always have to keep, remember that they're using clone surrogates to try and throw off universal law returns. So when you word your stuff, you have to be kind of specific in that If you're moving them, then you want to be moving them devoid of all technologies, magic, and clones. That way they don't get to use the clone. They take the hit directly. And then the clones need to be dissolved, devoid of everything that they've raped. And it's not really the clones. I mean, they're using the clones to rape it, but the clones is a tool. The clones are a tool. They're not, I don't see them, to me, they're not, they're artificial entities. They're not really real. Like, they're used to rape the true, authentic version. So all clones need to be dissolved, devoid of everything that they've raped from benevolent beings. So anyway, so those are, that's more of a distinction that could be made with the clones and with the other thing I mentioned before that. And hopefully it's a tool for benevolent beings that can be helpful in reducing and lessening what is being forced on them, as well as helping other benevolent beings and humanity. All right, so do your best to stay strong. Use your tools. Be confident. Know yourselves. Know that you're taking right action. Know that you are doing the best that you can. And trust yourself and have faith in yourself. Okay, until next time.